So, welcome to Monday, which is Rest and Regulate. Today, we will be continuing to focus on solutions, not the problem. People like David Hanscom, who always say that where we're placing our attention, it's really shaping the pathways to the brain. So, noticing what's going on with us at any given time, but also saying, like, let me get curious about this and maybe I can shift to a more helpful reaction. And that might be saying something like, how can I learn skills to feel safe? And that's so different from, not going into the danger mode in our brain or not going into the threat and then starting the whole threat physiology. Do you see that? And it's not easy to do until we're totally aware of what's happening, and it's even hard to become aware because we get so entangled. But all of this, that's why mindfulness and meditation can be so helpful, because we're stepping out of it, stepping out of the loops that we get into to create a space that is more helpful. This is going to be called Set the Sail. Just let your body get into a comfortable position. Whatever that looks like today, you might need to fully lie down. It might feel really good to sit up with your feet supported underneath you, your hands lying on something. And if you're feeling like you want to take a quick jaunt around, you can also be walking, whatever feels good. So let's just give ourselves a moment to arrive here. And I'll get my microphone. Sounds a little better. If you want to close your eyes, that's great. If you want to keep them open, that's also great. And let's just start by noticing your breath. Maybe taking in some soft, smooth breaths, however that looks like to you. Sometimes when we feel that first expansion of the diaphragm, it can feel so good. It's like you're really letting in new energy and letting your body lighten and soften, expand. And sometimes those longer breaths out can loosen your shoulders and your neck, help us let go of tension in the body and whatever's happening in your nervous system state when you arrived. Sometimes there's a little opening to bringing in this sense of safety and calm. And we'll do some coherence breathing, because our nervous system and brain love consistency and a regular pattern. So let's give it a try. And what it can look like, the coherence breathing, is when you breathe the same number in, like 4 or 5 counts, and the same number out. Some people like to do that, and it feels better to take like 3 or 4 breaths in and doing the same number out, but it might look like a longer count, 5 or 6. So just play around with what feels good for your nervous system today. And one other breath is taking something like 4 breaths in and then holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. That's the box breathing. So just play around with breath. We're just getting into a regular cyclical pattern. Seeing which one feels good for you. Letting it be predictable, consistent. Just like we're heading on that sailboat, ready for some smooth, steady sailing. Okay, let's shift and take our hands and begin to gently massage around our ears. We can do inside, we can do the grooves or the edges, or I think they're called the ridges, around, all around the inside, not inside, not our ear canal, but around the outside of the ear canal, but inside the ear. And just see what it feels like here. These soft, steady strokes. And you can massage behind your ear, up and down. You might want to use circles. Just knowing that, and don't forget the bottom of your ear. That's another place that is really great for activating our vagus nerve. Getting into rest and regulate. And then slide your hands down the sides of your neck. So you can either go up and down to your clavicle, or again, you can do these circles. This is where your lymph nodes are. And so we're doing a little lymphatic drainage here too. Removing any toxins. It's also, again, where the vagus nerve runs through. So we're activating it and letting it do its job. When we do this, we clear out a little space for the vagus nerve to activate and to work, helping us to regulate our breath, regulate our heart rate, regulate our immune function, our temperature, and of course our digestion. Nice. And so now just allow your shoulders to drop. We're just supporting our system, helping it shift out of stress and into repair. And let's gently move our shoulders, so rolling them up and back and down a few times. Making a little space here for more circulation, more blood flow. We can loosen any tension that may be built up over the weekend or whenever. And we can go the other way too, going really slow and intentional. Really good. Okay, and now we're going to slowly turn our heads to the right, and then we're going to hold for a moment, and then we're going to bring our heads back to center, hold again, turn to the left side, hold for a second, and come back. And again, you can do it with breath, so you could breathe in And then on the exhale, you can turn your head to the right gently as far as you want. Take a breath here. And on the exhale, bring it back to center. And you can go at your own pace, breathing in. On the exhale, turning your head to the other side. Holding here, breathing out, breathing in. So it's just like a real slow and steady movement. Again, we're activating the vagus nerve. Sometimes there's tension that can be in here, and we are just releasing that tension in the surrounding muscles. We're just freeing the vagus nerve to function better. This is a place that often gets very tight. But the aim here is gentle activation, not structural manipulation. And when you're done doing that a few times, just gently bringing your ear to one shoulder, pausing, coming back to center, taking a breath in and breathing out and going to the other side. Feeling that the side that's, now up to the sky, you might want to place your hand and just feel. Sometimes it can really be tight. So just offering a little massage here. And when it feels good, just breathing again. Taking a breath and leaning your ear to the other shoulder and loosening the other part of your neck. Yeah, the neck can be so, but now we're loosening all the blood flow here. It sometimes can even be helpful to do a little tap up and down. And now just move your neck around any way that feels right for you. Really being intentional and gentle. I mean, the vagus nerve is so amazing. It's this giant 10th cranial nerve, biggest one in the body, that is so huge, and it branches out to all the autonomic nervous system functions. It includes the heart, the liver, the spleen, the stomach, the intestines, and kidneys. It's incredible. And when it has, as they call it, the tone, the right amount of activation, with either deep breathing or moving our neck like this and massaging like we did a few minutes ago, it can play this major role in promoting our relaxation. Maybe any of you guys might feel a little bit of your digestion, little stomach growling, or Patrick's yawning, and that's perfect. That means he is going from, if he was in fight or flight, to he's definitely in rest and digest. And we can see how helpful this can be to our recovery, helping us reduce stress and anxiety and promote relaxation and resilience. So let's move into our final movement. And that's taking our arms kind of out like this, kind of like they're goalposts. And we're going to just kind of do a little bit of a cat and cow, but it's more like chest opener. So bringing your arms just a little bit back behind you. And then chest, we're going to kind of round our back and bring our hands together and just kind of breathe in as we open the chest wide, so good for our lungs, and then come back and we fold and twist our, it's kind of like I said, like a cat and cow. We're just taking our spine and we're giving it a little spinal twist, spinal forward, and having it come back. And at the same time, we're opening our chest, our heart space, taking a big breath in here and then releasing that. Nice. If you want, the final move before we go into the final meditation is just to take a very short twist around to the right, just letting the spine now twist the other way. Might feel like it's wringing out a little bit, taking a breath in and coming to center, taking another breath in and going to the other side. However far it feels good for you to go. Pausing, maybe taking a breath in. And on the exhale, coming back to center. And just moving around any way now that feels good for you. If you want to, you can either on the ground move your feet up and down, your heels up and down, or you can stand for a moment. And just this is the little Qigong way of releasing everything that we just did. So the lymphatic drainage just releases, and also any negativity or negative energy that we're carrying. Just let it go. Nice. Huh. Wow. Okay. So let's settle in for a short meditation. A little guided imagery. So just coming into stillness, settling your body, and just taking a moment to observe how you feel. And now I invite you to imagine you're on a very calm lake in a small and comfortable sailboat. The water is so smooth. And there's a gentle breeze, just enough to carry you forward. You don't have to push or do anything. You can simply adjust the sail and let the breeze move you. Just notice what that feels like now. You're supported, steady, being carried by the wind. You may notice your breath again, and even how you're breathing. And it's a lot like that sail. When we're stressed, our diaphragm can become a little restricted. But by softening the breath, having it fill that sail, expanding it and contracting it, by breathing low and slow, it begins to propel us forward in a steady, gentle, full way. And it may make us feel a little more relaxed, safe. And our diaphragm gets to do what it's meant to do, which is massage our organs, expand the lungs to maximize oxygen intake, and push out carbon dioxide. And like our sail, it has its mast, which is our core stability. It assists us with postural stability and supports the spine. So I just invite you to bring one hand to your lower belly, and as you inhale, letting your belly gently expand in your hand. And as you exhale, let it soften back. Just allowing this to happen. And now bring your hands to the side of your waist, just under your ribs. And as you inhale, feel your ribs gently widen into your hands, kind of like an accordion opening. And as you exhale, they softly draw back in. So just notice this movement. Relaxing your shoulders, not trying to breathe any deeper, although sometimes when we pay attention to our breath, that seems to happen. Trying to just let the breath come in the same way it would on normal breaths. And finally, we'll bring our attention to our lower back. If you're resting against a chair, you might feel it against the chair, just this subtle expansion. Or you can bring your hands behind you if it's okay. Just as you inhale, bring awareness to your back body as it expands just so very subtly. And as you exhale, it softens back toward your spine. And now imagine that sail. You can bring your hands down. Let it all come together. The front, the sides, the back. A full, spacious breath, like a sail opening in all directions. And the more easily it catches the breath and supports you without effort, the more you glide along. And you might notice what feels a little different, a little more space, a little more ease. And just take a moment to recognize what you did. You didn't fix anything, but you shifted your system. You moved your attention from the problem to creating safety. And this is what it means to focus on solutions. Practicing again and again these small moments. It's how the brain changes and how the body begins to heal. So take one slow final breath in, and on an exhale, open your eyes and come back to your space. Thanks for sailing with me. Namaste.